Hello everybody, my name's Roberto from Fornieri wood-fired ovens. One of my biggest pizza fans, my daughter, has recently become gluten-free, and through immense pressure from my wife, I've been asked to make a gluten-free pizza dough. So I've had a look at a few online to get a few ideas. Followed Vito the Great there, the maestro. I had a look at his and a few others, and thought I'd make one, put a few of those tips together and make it a bit more user-friendly for you. So the first thing I've done is I used the Caputo gluten-free flour. It comes in 1 kilo, and a lot of the recipes are for 1 kilo. So what I've done, I've made the recipe for 960 grams of gluten-free flour, and I've taken out 40 grams because we need a little bit of flour later when we make the dough ball, so we don't want to have to open a new bag or anything like that. So this recipe is based on 960 grams of Caputo flour. To that we're going to need 800 grams of room temperature water, 40 grams of olive oil, 32 grams of salt, 16 grams of honey, 8 grams of dried yeast, and that's it. So the first thing we want to do is grab half of our water, so we'll get 400 mils of our water, and we'll chuck it in a bowl, give or take. To that we're going to add 8 grams of dried yeast, and we're going to add 16 grams of honey to help. Of course, this is better done with a mixer. Nearly all of the recipes I looked at were all done with a electric mixer. I don't have one, so it'll be done by hand. We're also going to at this point add our oil. So that was 40 grams of olive oil. And finally to this we'll add about 400 grams of the flour, just under half the bag. This flour is very, very white in colour. It looks good. So we're going to now mix all this together slowly until we've got a nice creamy consistency. We're going to add now the rest of our water. And now we're going to add some more flour and the salt, and then just continue to mix this through for about 15 to 20 minutes. As I said before, I don't have a mixer, and almost all the recipes I've seen for gluten-free, because it's such a sticky mix, use a mixer. But we're going to do this by hand, so keep some olive oil, like I say, handy. More so for your hands. We'll put a bit in a bowl and just use it to keep the hands and our tools and things wet so that it doesn't stick. So we're going to put this back in the bowl. I'll just let it rest for about 10 minutes for the first time, and then we'll bring it out, give it another little bit of a mix, and we'll let it rest for another 30 minutes to an hour after that. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I covered it up with a bit of Glad wrap there. So we're going to now turn this out onto our bench. Just give it a slight mix, and then we're going to oil the bowl, put it back in the bowl for about an hour, and then we'll come back, we'll make the balls, and that's it, job done. Alright, so I'm back now, and that's been a good, look, it's been about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes since we've put that back in that bowl and we've let it rest. So what we'll do now is we'll make the balls. We're going to put a bit of olive oil on our bench so it doesn't stick, a bit of olive oil on our hands. Olive oil is your friend when using gluten-free dough, and we're going to put that out on the bench. Beautiful, beautiful. And we've got olive oil. You can see that's not so sticky anymore. And now we're going to make our balls. You cut your balls up into between 290, 300 grams. Get a little bit of oil, put it on top of your scale as well. Zero that, and we'll make some pizza balls. Okay, so that was 290 grams. I'm just going to shape that into a nice dough ball. Like so. We will put that do it over here. So we're going to put that inside a bit of Glad wrap. We'll cover it up. That's it. So we'll probably get about, I'm guessing about 6 balls out of this mix. We're going to put all those into a box, and we can leave them out 6 hours at room temperature, or you can put it straight into the fridge for about 24 hours and then take them out, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours before you want to use them. So I'm just going to make the rest of these balls, and then we'll cook one up later tonight, and we'll see how it looks and how it tastes. Just like that, you know, put them into they're already covered, they're airtight. We're just going to put them away. If it was a hot day, put them in the fridge. Otherwise, yeah, today's quite cool, so we'll just leave them out and let them grow and proof a bit. All right, so I finished wrapping all those up, and I've just put them inside a container here, and we'll let these rest and proof over the next, you know, 5 hours. All right, so I'm back. It's been about, we've made the dough balls in the plastic wrap, and they've been resting for about 5.5 hours. And if you remember, we put some 40 grams of the gluten-free flour aside, so we can use it now to stretch our dough balls. So I'm gonna open these up. They're extremely soft and delicate. Not very, they don't look like they're going to be easy to work with, but we're going to unwrap them carefully and put them on our flour. Put a bit more flour on top. Yeah, you can tell they are just extremely, extremely delicate. I'm going to try to carefully work this dough. We're not going to try to stretch it, which we're just patting it down, trying to keep the shape. And now I will slowly shape this dough ball as carefully as we can, just pressing down, not really stretching, just thinning it out a little. Try to put a bit of a cornicione on it. I don't want to mess with it too much because it looks a bit too delicate to really pick up and move around. Yeah, it gets holes in it quite easily, so really need to be careful with this dough. Okay, I'm going to brush some of the flour off. And we'll top this. Might try to put it on the peel before I top it because it looks really, really delicate. Okay, we don't want to get any sauce on the peel at all because it'll stick. And so I'm just going to dress it up. A little bit of sand. This is cow's milk mozzarella, not buffalo. A bit of basil. I might put a little bit of salami on there. Don't put too much topping because, like I say, this dough is extremely delicate. Just want to keep that moving. A drizzle of olive oil. And I'll go and give that a cook. And we'll just see how that comes out. Shake off any excess flour and we'll go put that in the oven and give it a cook. Alright, so the oven's in there. Give it time to crust on the bottom. And we're carefully going to turn it. Turn this oven down a bit. I'm using a gas oven tonight. These aren't approved for use in Australia yet. I'm just demoing it before I get them approved. So I'm just using a gas oven to make it a bit simple. But that pizza's in there. If you can have a look at that, you can see it's cooking quite nicely. I've turned the gas down a bit because it was quite hot and I want to get the bottom to cook a bit more. But I must say that the dough was extremely soft and delicate to use. You touch it and you're going to very simply put a hole in it. So I wouldn't be trying to stretch these things very thin. Just give them a nice light stretch. It's just when you make it, you'll see how soft this dough is. But it looks really good. Okay, that's the pizza. So we'll cut that up and we'll have a look how that looks inside. All right, so that's the pizza. It looks quite good. Let's give it a bit of a cut. That's the pizza. Can you see that crust? It looks quite nice, quite cooked. Could have been a bit more cooked on the bottom. It's not too bad. I don't eat gluten free, but here goes. You can't really tell the diff. Not be able to hear that crunch. I could eat that. It's gluten free. You probably won't tell the difference between that and normal dough. That's the caputo. Gluten free flour. A little bit of Vito's recipe and a bit of others. I hope that it works out for you. Like I say, it's really delicate. Once you've done your balls, you've got to be really delicate stretching this dough out. You'll put holes in it and it'll stick. So use plenty of flour, get yourself a perforated peel, and I think you will be extremely happy with a pizza like this. Roberto from Fornieri Wood-Fired Ovens here in Melbourne. See you next time. Thank you very much.